FideMaster John Curtis, and here we are, 1 hour north of Sydney, Australia, on the New South Wales Central Coast. And I'm here today. I'm playing the white pieces against Starik, starik24. He's from Russia. He's a 2035 rating, and he plays the Philidor defense, the exchange Boden variation. Okay, and so as you can see in the heading of the video, I achieved 97.5% accuracy in this particular game. Now I'm headed towards the 100%. Will I get to 100%? Well, we shall see. I don't know, but we shall see. But it's 97.5%. And it's a good attacking game, and it's fairly flawless, as you can imagine. So let's have a look at it, eh? We'll look at it together. I want to take you on this journey with me, right? So get ready. Lock yourself into your seat. Get your cup of tea. Stop the video and go and grab that cup of tea. Come back and sit down, prepare to relax, right? And we're only going to show you one game, but we're going to take you through it slowly and ask you what moves you'd play in certain positions. So it's really a chess training video, but it is a genuine game played for over 5 minutes on chess.com, okay? And you can check that out by just checking my archives. Okay, so here we go. Move one. He plays e5, and we have the balance in the position. Just book moves. Knight to f3. I actually played 4 book moves, and my opponent actually played 4 book moves too. So not that many book moves, but I played 12 best moves. My opponent played 7. That might have been the difference. So he plays d6, book move, and I played d4, book move. So where does it change? Pawn takes pawn, queen takes pawn, book move. Okay. And white's just retained his edge, as is shown by the bar on the side of the board. Okay, so bishop to d7. Now you might ask, oh, why does he play that move, bishop d7? Well, the reason is that when he plays the knight to f6, okay, he will be attacking my queen, and I can't pin his knight against the king, right? I can't pin it because the bishop is there. Whereas if he'd played knight here straight away, I could pin the knight with the bishop, okay? So that's why he plays bishop to d7, and it's a book move for that very reason. So I hope you've learned something there. And now, so I played knight to c3. That's my book move. And if he plays knight, I'd already prepared an idea. If he played knight to c6, I could have played queen to e3. That's one idea. But he plays knight to f6. Now, knight to c3 is the given move. Why would you play bishop to d7? Right, so you've got to ask yourself that question. Why would you play bishop d7? The engine tells you it's a book move. And you don't follow up with the correct, what should be the book move, which is knight c6, attacking the queen. Surely you could get punished if you make a mistake and get the order wrong. Well, let's see what happens. I played bishop to, engine says bishop f4 is better. I'll tell you why. I believe that bishop f4 is better than g5 because if the bishop goes to f4 and the knight hits the queen, right, the knight hits the queen, I'll show you. If the bishop goes to f4 and the knight hits the queen, well, the queen can come back to d2 behind the bishop, and the bishop on f4 can then prepare the move e5, okay? Does that make sense? Whereas the bishop is on g5, it makes it harder to get your e5 move in. Well, maybe that's what the engine's thinking anyway. That's my guess. Anyway, we'll see what happens. I played bishop g5. He played bishop e7. Again, he is saving up. I don't know what for Christmas or something. Is he saving for Christmas? Well, we don't know, do we? But we'll soon find out, because eventually you think you bring the knight out. And remember, what did Bobby Fischer say? He said in Argentina, I think it was, he was analysing the Black Death, Henry Blackburn's game, I think it was. And he said, get your knights out before your bishops, right? Okay. Can be fatal not to do so. Anyway, he played bishop e7. He's preparing to castle. Everything looks all right. So what did I do? Well, I castled, didn't I? Okay. Okay, so now he's going to play knight to c6, is he? Well, I'm going to stop here for a second. I'm going to ask you, what move would you play? Would you castle? Or would you play knight to c6? It's the queen. Okay, well, if you suggested knight to c6, I think, without looking at what the engine says, I think you would have found the best move. However, we'll just see what he played. He castled. Okay. Now, how do you refute the fact? So I'm going to stop here again for a short while, and I'm going to ask you, how do you refute the fact that he has not played knight to c6 in the spirit of the game and followed the great world champion Bobby Fischer's idea of getting the knights out before your bishops? I think most grandmasters would do that, right? But he's refused to do it for some reason. I don't know, maybe he just doesn't want to hit my queen. Maybe he feels that my queen's like a long-lost puppy or something like that, and he doesn't want to hurt it. Anyway, whatever his feelings are, what would you play? Well, have you come up with the right idea yet? Oh, okay, this is what I played. I played e5. And you might say to yourself, well, probably the same as what he thought initially. He probably thought that if I push the pawn, well, he can hit the queen, can't he, right? This is not how the game went. But no, pawn takes knight. And now if you take the queen, well, pawn takes bishop, okay? Now, if the queen moves, right, because the queen's attacked, you can't take the pawn, the bishop's protecting it, well, pawn takes rook, check, right? And then king takes, and rook takes knight, or knight takes bishop, and do a piece count. There's 5, the rook is worth 5, the queen is worth 9, that's 14, and the bishop's worth 3, that's 17 points. Now let's count up white's material. White's got 2 rooks, that's 10 points, and 4 minor pieces worth 3 points each, that's 12 points. So white's got a total of 23 points. That's right, 9 and 3 is 12 against 23 points. Well, if you had an army of 23,000 men, I'm sure you could defeat an army of 12,000 men. So I think common mathematics would just tell you that white wins easily. Right, well, let's see what took place. Guess what? I played pawn there to refute the fact he had not played knight to c6. So we now know knight to c6 is bad. Did he play it? No, he didn't. He was a good player. He actually finally worked out that he can't play knight to c6. So let's see what he did. He played pawn takes pawn. And that's the best move on the board. Okay? The best move. It's a star move. So the engine, the chess engine, in the analysis room at chess.com, it suggests that pawn takes pawn is the best move. I played knight takes pawn. And that's a star move. That's the best move. Well, let's see how the game proceeded. What would he play here? Well, he finally played his knight to c6. And he gets a star for it. Okay? So he played knight to c6. And he got a star for it. So now it's white to move. Do you take the knight? Well, you can't take the bishop with the knight because, why? The knight's on the queen, so you must take the knight. Correct, if you decided that that was the move. Bishop takes back, star move, best move. Now, where would you put your queen if you were white? Think about it. You're joining me on this journey, on this masterpiece of chess. So where would you put your queen? Where would you place your queen? Okay, well, if you chose queen to h4, you were correct. Okay, so you play queen to h4, and now it's on the king side. It's attacking the king a little bit, but there's no major threats. And you rook the castle, because you've moved the queen off that line, is now attacking the queen. So it's black to move. Well, he played queen c8. So if you thought it's queen c8 initially, that's the best move. Well done. Okay, so white to move. What would you play as white in this position? Given that you know that I played with 97.5% accuracy. I'll repeat that because I'm very, very happy about it. Okay, well, if you chose bishop to d3, you were wrong. That's what I played. So 2 claps if you chose bishop to d3. But if you chose rook to d3, an engine move, well, hold on. Salam, salam, salam to you, my friends, right? Because I'll tell you what, that's a tough move to find, rook to d3. But bishop to d3 is a natural move. It threatens, what does it threaten? Well, it threatens bishop takes knight and queen takes pawn check. So bishop takes knight would eliminate the defender of the h-pawn and queen takes pawn check, okay? All right then. So now you're in the black position. You know bishop takes knight is threatened. So what move would you play in this position? Just think about it. You're black. What would you play? White's got an advantage, but apparently the engine says it's no super advantage. It's just an advantage. So there must be a decent move for black in that position. Some sort of decent move. Anyway. This is what he played. He played h6. If you thought h6 is the correct move, well, you were right. Okay. Now it's white to move. All right. So we're into white's 13th move. White's got a choice of what to do. Does he move his bishop back? If so, where does he put it? Does he take the knight? Does he take the h-pawn? What does he do? So I'll give you a few seconds. Okay. Made up your mind yet? Well, if you decided bishop takes pawn, you were correct. Okay? Like me, you're playing at 97.5% accuracy. Champions! You know, the people that follow my Twitch TV channel, FM John Curtis Chess, and my YouTube channel, they're good players. They're getting better all the time. And when I play them, I'm finding it increasingly harder to beat them. Okay, so he played H takes, G takes H, right? He took the bishop off. He got a question mark for that. Queen to G4 was the best. Okay. So what the engine's saying is, okay, you've lost a pawn. The best idea for you now is to just try to change queens. Bring the queen into the game, attack the white queen here, the bishop's on here, and perhaps you can get a good game. But White's got a better game, but because White snaffled the pawn. But that is the best move, right? To try to defend the king. So if you saw that move for black and you decided, oh no, I wouldn't take the bishop, well then you're an excellent player, okay? Okay, so I took the pawn, he took back, and now it's white to play. Well, I think everyone would agree that that looks pretty obvious, doesn't it? If you've sacrificed a piece, which you have, because White sacrificed a minor piece to open up the king, well, that looks like the logical move, okay? Well, what move would you play for Black? Well, he played queen there, brought his queen over to the king side, and he wants to play, the idea is to play queen to g2, right, to kick the queen out of there to protect his king. So now it's up to white to find the correct move. So what move would you play here as white, given the fact he wants to play queen to g2, right? Well, I played rook to e1, and it's an inaccuracy. So the engine's telling me that the correct move was to put the other rook on d1, right? Now, can I tell you why I played this inaccuracy? Okay, I'll tell you why. Because I was concerned that, because it's a 5-minute game, I forgot that you can't play queen takes pawn. I'm thinking I can't do my rook move, right? Because he'll take my rook off. And I forgot. I just pin his queen against his king. Something simple like that. But still my move got 2.61 plus, as opposed rook on the h file to e1 was a plus 3.6. Technically speaking, he played bishop to d8. Now his bishop was attacked. The engine said play bishop here, right? Bishop to d. Engine said bishop there. Oop. Engine said bishop here is best, okay? The whole idea is that threatens to take the queen off, okay? But the downside, of course, is you can take the knight, and then queen takes knight would just win the game, right? Because you'd be a piece up for nothing, okay? Oh, no, you wouldn't. You'd be a pawn up. Yeah, you'd be a pawn up. Yeah, you'd be a pawn up. Okay, right, so that's the best move. Bishop d6, give back the piece that we've sacrificed. And then after queen takes knight, queen f4 check, right? So that would be the best way to play it. However, he didn't play it. He went back there. So now it's white to move. So what move would you play as white in this position? All right, remember the knight's protected. You can't take the knight now because the bishop's holding it. Okay, well this is what was played, rook there, with the idea of rook checks. Okay. It's a simple move, rook checks. Now, the best move was rook e3, as shown by the arrow. So that's the best move, threatening a rook here, okay, according to the engine. Also threatens rook here, but rook here is the main threat, wins a queen. Okay, so rook there is the best move. Rook here I played, and the difference again is very, very minute. It says it's a mistake, because after rook here he can play knight to e4. Right, you can see that. Now you can't rook check him because he'll play bishop takes rook check and win your queen. So you can't play rook check in that position, okay? Right, so that he can play this move and wiggle a little bit. He can wiggle a little bit. Anyway, let's see what he played. Well, he played the best move on the board, didn't he? Boys and girls, he played the best move. Okay, so now you're looking at the position and we're on this journey together. And so now we know we've got an attack. We are a piece down. Now you can capture that knight. Not one, not two, but 3 different ways. Now which way would you capture that knight? So I'm going to sit back and I'll give you a little bit of time to work this out. Okay? Take your time. Well, let's see if I played the right move. Knight takes, that's right. If you look at this position here, it's very logical, really. We've got the bishop attacking the king, haven't we, right? We know the rook wants to go to h5 or h4 and attack. However, there's one piece that's not attacking the king, and that's the knight. And that's why that's the correct move, because now we have all of these three pieces, all of those three pieces, all attacking the king, right? We've got the rook threatening to come over here. We've got the knight threatening knight check and queen mates here. So we've got all pieces have now come together against the black king. So black plays, I should say, f5. Now I want you to find the move that you think is the best in the position. I'll give you five seconds. Well, if you chose rook here, that's the best move. It's a star move, right? Now, it's actually the best move. It's funny, isn't it? But that's the best move. There's an alternative. Rook e6, this move here, is 12 plus 12.7% accuracy. Now, bishop c4 check also wins, right? Bishop c4 check, right, also wins, but apparently the degree of accuracy is not as great as rook here, right? This is just a very blunt, forceful move, okay? Right. And now, he played bishop there. Now that looks like a good move, doesn't it? Because we know that in this position, we were threatening rook checks, weren't we? Okay, we were threatening rook checks. Now, our opponent has played bishop there to stop the check. So now I'm going to ask you, what move would you play in this position? Take your time. You're on this journey with me. You're an attacking chess player. You're playing like not just a FideMaster, I reckon an international master would play at this level. So, what move would you play? Well, if you chose to eliminate the bishop, which defends that square, you're right. Rook takes bishop. But the real reason for taking this bishop is hidden. You see, the rook here blocks this bishop here from giving a devastating check down there, okay? So the whole idea is after rook takes bishop, we're now threatening rook takes rook checkmate, okay? And he should give a check and try to, that's only like a spite move, right? Black's move, to try to do anything you can to get the pieces away from the king. He played rook takes, and now I think you can all see the next move. We eliminated, we gave away the exchange, rook takes e8, clearing move for this bishop to check. There's only one move in the position, rook here, and bishop there, effects checkmate. And that's the end of the game. After he recaptured with the rook, he didn't allow the check. So the game actually ended after rook e8 in 20 moves. So we defeated our Russian master, Starik, 2035 from Russia, in just 20 moves with a wonderful attack. I hope you enjoyed the game. Please thumbs up to the video if you liked it. And if you want to contribute to my channel, my PayPal is in the description of the video, so you can make a donation if you like. Please keep following my channel. You can catch me on Twitch Live, Twitch TV. I usually play most days except Tuesdays, and sometimes I won't play on Thursday, but I'll play the occasional stream on Thursday. And don't forget, you come in to see me on Twitch TV Live, I'll play you. I take all challenges, both people that follow my channel and subscribers as well. So I'll give everybody a game. Now I played 140,000 games or something on chess.com, and so it's nothing for me to rack up 50 or 60 games a day. I've done it all my life. Anyway, I'm going to say goodbye for now. Keep chessing, and don't forget, look for that best move. And Grandmaster Teddy will like to wave goodbye. We love Grandmaster Teddy here on my channel. And I'm off for now, so I'll see you later.